All right, what's going on, everyone? Brian O's coming at you, and we are back for another Black Speakers Network Speaker Spotlight interview series. If you are catching this for the first time, I want to go ahead and welcome you. And if you're part of the Black Speakers Network family, I want to give you an extra special hello. And if you're someone just watching this randomly on YouTube or just checking us out for the first time, I want to welcome you to Black Speakers Network. We are a nationwide organization focused on equipping, inspiring, and connecting the next generation of Black professional speakers. And so we provide speaker training, resources, and access to speaking opportunities just like this. And so if you're not part of the Black Speakers Network community already, I encourage you to get connected over at blackspeakersnetwork.com. You can learn more about us and follow our Facebook group on Facebook. So that being said, BSN Speaker Spotlight interviews are rapid fire, 5-minute intense but fun interviews to give you an opportunity to meet, connect, learn, and get inspired by individuals across the Black Speakers Network community. We have thousands of speakers who are subject matter experts on everything from financial wellness to empowerment, motivation, leadership, you name it, we have it right here in the Black Speakers Network community. And so we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to, number one, meet the folks that are behind these incredibly powerful messages. And number two, perhaps you are a meeting planner. Maybe you have a conference coming up, a virtual event. Perhaps you have your own podcast or your media outlet. We have so many people that are constantly reaching out to BSN, asking for speakers, MCs, panelists, you name it. And so if that is you, then we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get connected to our speakers as well through our speaker profile. So every speaker that you see today will actually be listed on our speakers directory. So if you're looking to connect with them on social media, if you're looking to find out more information about them on their website, you can do that at blackspeakersnetwork.com/speaker directory, and we will make sure that you get connected with them. So that being said, that's my intro. We're going to jump right into it because we have 9 speakers that are waiting in the green room, and they are ready to talk directly to you. So I'm going to bring up our very first speaker today, and that is going to be Miss Chanelle Wesley, I believe, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Chanelle, welcome to Speaker Spotlight, and tell us about yourself.
Well, first of all, Brian, thank you so much for allowing me to have opportunity to speak on this platform. I'm just so amazed and inspired. I'm Chanelle Coleman Wesley. I'm a resident of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. I'm an author, well, best-selling author newly, and a playwright, a speaker, and most importantly, I am a woman who is healing and just trying to motivate, encourage, and inspire the next generation and those women who are behind me and with me to be able just to continue their leg of the journey on healing.
Absolutely. I love it, Chanelle. And I have so many powerful questions for you. First of all, I've not been to Milwaukee, so I'm
you have to come. We have a bus. It's everything, the Packers, everything. You got to try it out. Milwaukee's amazing.
I'm looking forward to it. But my first question is, I would love to know kind of like what inspires you, what gets you out of bed in the morning and gives you the energy to do what you do.
It would have to just be my purpose, my why. The reason why I'm a writer, the reason why I speak is just because I recognize that there are so many people who are in varying stages of healing. It's just amazing how many times I've met so many different people who have gone through trauma, who have gone through abuse, who have gone through so many various things. And a lot of times you think that these things define you, but you don't allow your situation or your trauma to define you. You define it. And so as a writer and as a speaker, I've had the ability to regain my voice and to be able to kind of reset my narrative. I understand that I control my narrative and my narrative does not control me. And so I just want to be able to be encouraging and inspiring to others because it's just so necessary. So many things that are going on around us, right? And so we need a reason just to be able to continue to have an attitude of gratitude and just to connect with others because these are the times we're living in, especially post-COVID.
You're absolutely right. Things are really, really challenging right now. And I know it could be a struggle for people to kind of tune out or like tune into the things that are going to
Yes,
actually help them. And there's a lot of noise. I feel like the entire world is always in competition for your
definitely.
time and always. So one of the things I thought was interesting. So you have this concept, I believe you wrote to a book, the beautiful truths about an ugly lie.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that philosophy and that mindset?
Definitely. The beautiful truth about an ugly lie is actually a gospel stage play. And the concept came from sometimes we love the lie. We don't say we love the lie, but we really love the lie. Sometimes the truth can seem so daring, so bold. It can frighten us, can intimidate us. Sometimes we'll take a well-known lie when we compare it to a unsettled or undiscovered truth. And sometimes we can just hold on to lies, even though we can recognize that they are lies because they make us feel comfortable. We've accepted them, we've grown to them. And so the beautiful truth about an ugly lie is, sometimes we have to be able to redefine and revision how we see the truth. And sometimes, we don't always like truth. We say we want truth, but I love Jack Nichol's Few Good Men. Can you handle the truth? A lot of times we don't want to handle the truth, and so it really kind of ties back to that because it tells us, hey, this is a beautiful truth, and the lie is truly ugly.
That makes perfect sense to me. And I think one of the quotes, I forget who said it, I hate misquoting people, but one of the things that always stand out to me is that like you can ignore reality, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
ignore the consequences of ignoring reality.
Yes.
And it's so true. A lot of times it can be difficult to, embrace the truth, but once you do find it, it will actually, yes, set you free, but also the process of standing in that is so much more freeing than trying
It
to
is.
embrace. And I think we struggle with that sometimes just within like family dynamics and things of that nature won't really allow you to fully kind
Yes. Yes.
of
And we'll
so,
hide behind that lie as long as we can. And so that's ironically what the play is about. We just kind of talk about that. And it's just, amazing to see people's reactions to truths, and holding in those truths. Because sometimes we keep those things secret and we don't really want to talk about it. So I love when we can express and have people have dialogue on truths that they've been holding and just keeping hostage for such a long time. And they're finally able to express it. And it's like, yes. The truth is not that bad. It's not as bad as you think it is going to be.
absolutely agree. So Chanelle, I want to give you the last word. I feel like you've already taught us so much, but for you, what do you want people to remember you for? You're doing this powerful work, but at the end of it all, what do you want to be remembered for?
As a survivor of sexual abuse, it's my calling, I believe, just to be able to help people feel empowered. A lot of times you can have situations that make you feel as if you've lost your voice. And it's important to be able to speak truth. It's just amazing to be able to speak truth to power, to stand in your story, to be able to recognize. A lot of times people don't share their story because they feel ashamed or they feel frightened or they're scared of how people are going to perceive them. But I would just say to that person, just continue to speak, continue to utilize your voice because you don't know who's on the other end of your story who needs to hear your story. So speak and use your voice, become empowered. And most of all, what we live today is going to inspire the next generation tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well said, Chanelle. Listen, if you want to connect with Chanelle, whether you are in Wisconsin or anywhere in the country, because I'm sure she travels, you can find out more information about her at blackspeakersnetwork.com/directory. So now I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Black Speakers Network community and continuing to share your message.
Thank you. Thank you. And if they're out there, please join this platform. You have got to connect with so many amazing people. I've learned so much by being on this platform. So you got to check them out. Black Speakers Network.
We appreciate that, Chanelle. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. So there you have it. We have officially kicked off the BSN Speaker Spotlight interview series for today. You just heard from Chanelle, and we have 8 other powerful speakers that are coming to you this 5-minute rapid fire interviews. 5 minutes goes by really fast, but I think this is great practice. Also, if you've ever had an opportunity to be on a television or radio interview, most of the time those are 5 to 7 minute segments, and they go by super fast. And so this is a great opportunity for you as speakers. It's also a great opportunity for anyone listening to get a lot of information really, really quickly from a very diverse slate of experts. And so we're going to keep on rolling. I'm going to go right to my next guest, and that is Mr. Javon Wooden. And listen, if y'all didn't know, Houston, Texas is in the building. Javon,
you know it.
Welcome aboard, sir. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
What's going on, King? Appreciate you setting this up. I am Javon Wooden. I am from Rochester, New York originally. I am the founder of Live Not Loathe, where we help business leaders and entrepreneurs go from distress to success personally and professionally. I started coaching in 2017. I'm a military veteran, Bronze Star recipient, and I actually started Live Not Loathe while I was deployed on my last deployment to Afghanistan. I came up with this concept because, being in the military and also growing up in poverty, we have a lot of trauma. We have a lot to our story that we do not communicate. And 85% of people struggle with that. They struggle with their self-esteem, their internal beliefs. So I just wanted to create a company that would help people get empowered, get inspired, and live their best lives.
This is so great. So first of all, thank you for your service. I always like to say that. Hopefully it doesn't sound trite, anymore.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
I always want to make sure we recognize, because it's not an easy thing to say, hey, I'm going to put my life on the line to go out and protect the country. The other thing is, what's interesting about your story, you're a combat veteran, and you started this business while you were deployed. So can you talk a little bit more about that process? Like, how do you even have the wherewithal to you're putting your life on the line and start a company at the same time? Like, I think that's really remarkable.
Yeah, for sure. So the story is, I actually started, there was an event on Bagram Air Force Base that took place. It was a suicide bombing, hence why I received the Bronze Star Medal. I always say that's an award I wish I didn't get, because people's lives were lives, and those who survived, lives have been changed forever. So I had this idea to say, okay, a lot of people don't like talking about these things. Maybe they don't want to do therapy, but there's still life to live. So as a coach, I get to empower them again and get to go from, instead of going past to present, I get to take them from present to the future. And that's what made me really search for that. People always used to say, hey, Jevon, you're great at motivational speaking. You're great at identifying people's strengths, getting to go for what they want in life. And I said, I didn't want to just do speaking. I wanted to leverage that ability to get people one-on-one, to get people in powerful groups. And that's really what I started searching for. And I found coaching. So I actually took a lot of courses through ICF certified courses, which is International Coaching Federation. I found that, and the rest is history, man.
That's so incredible. And I feel like you're somebody who is really dedicated to lifelong learning. I know that you have undergraduate degree from, I believe you went to University of Maryland and got a business degree, right? And then you also, then you also have some STEM education as well on cybersecurity. So you've kind of you've been learning. You like more. I see your degrees and awards and stuff behind you. So it's no mistake that you are a student. And I think students, the people that are best students, actually become the best teachers and guides and speakers and facilitators that can lead people through other processes. So I think that's great. tell me a little bit about like who is the ideal person that you love serving? Like who's that person? Like if they're hear you now, like you want them to reach out to you, in people or organizations.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking. So my ideal client is really someone facing overwhelm, right? If you're overwhelmed with stress, overwhelmed with starting your business, and I focus on decision makers, so business leaders and entrepreneurs, getting them the idea what the key business drivers and life drivers are. So I have the business component to my business, but in order to be a great business professional, you need to be taking care of yourself as well, right? So I take a holistic approach and identify what the business drivers is and what the life drivers are. And I have a concept called revenue generating activities, which you posted graciously on your platform. So revenue generating activities are something we really, really want to identify at the outset, because those are your goals. We don't want to do to-do lists and overwhelm ourselves. So I really focus on getting that holistic perspective and taking that approach of, yes, you can work in the business, but we want you to work on your business, and then we want you to make sure you have a legacy. So we want you to live a long, healthy life.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna see if I can undo you here. All right, there we go. Still getting the bugs out, man. But listen,
No worries.
revenue generating activities, that is a huge concept. And I know, having started Black Speakers Network a few years ago, there's a lot of nonsense you could fill your calendar with throughout the day, and you end up accomplishing nothing. And so hearing that message from you was refreshing. If y'all haven't heard it, make sure you go to the BSN Instagram page and check it out, and follow Javon. I see you have your Instagram handle there as well, because you're always sharing like little bits and nuggets of wisdoms for business leaders. So I think that's great. With the 30 seconds we have left, tell us, what is it that you want to be remembered for? Obviously, you've done a lot in a lot of different domains, served our country. What is it that you ultimately want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for selfless service. I want to be remembered for giving everything I have to help people get everything they deserve. And that's pretty much it, man. I want to be on the Tony Robbins level, the Les Brown level, impacting millions of people with all the time that God gives me.
All right. Nah, I appreciate that. And I want to make sure that folks heard you. I saw I got my little like timer in the background going
It's so good.
Yeah, but that is a legacy worthy, and it's not about accolades, like you said, awards, but it's really at the end of the day focused around impact. And I really resonate with that, and that's why I know you're doing well in your practice and such a resource for Black Speakers Network. So thank you, Jevon. I appreciate you, man. Listen, if y'all want to connect with Jevon or any of our speakers today, make sure you head over to blackspeakersnetwork.com, click on the directory, and make sure you get connected. You can go right to his website. His website looks great. Like, it's very organized. So I'm really, really excited to work with you, Jevon, and keep up the great work, sir.
Same here, King. I appreciate you, Brian, and we'll be speaking.
Absolutely. All right. So speaker number 2 is in the books. We are rocking and rolling. I'm looking at the comments. I know we have a number of folks watching us live, even more on the replay. So again, just want to welcome you and thank you for joining. This is Black Speakers Network Speaker Spotlight Interviews. If you're just jumping in, these are 5-minute rapid fire interviews that we are doing with the members of Black Speakers Network. And when we say members, what we're saying is that Black Speakers Network is open to premium membership. And so essentially what we do is provide ongoing speaker training, resources, and opportunities like this to our members on an ongoing basis. And so if you're interested in learning more about that program or getting involved, you can go to blackspeakersnetwork.com/join, and we would love to work with you. So we just heard from Jevon. We are going right on back now. This next person is right in my own backyard, which is great. We have speakers from all across the country and up and down the East Coast as well. But we got Miss Javon Jackson. She is a financial expert, as you can see, and actually Dr. Javon Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, right here in Abington, Maryland. And so, Javon, welcome to BSN Speaker Spotlight, and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Brian and BSN family. Hello, hello, hello. Brian, I'm actually in Baltimore now. I spent 12 years in Hartford and Abingdon, Maryland, but now I'm in Baltimore right with you. So for just a little bit about me, I am a woman of faith. I'm a follower of Christ. I'm also a wife to my amazing husband, Lawrence Jackson, mom to my two beautiful daughters, Loren and Jada. I'm also a United States Army veteran of the Military Intelligence Corps. And I'm also the CEO and the founder of Good News Financial and Investment Advisors, LLC, which is a registered investment advisory firm in the state of Maryland. And in that role, I'm most passionate about working with small business owners who are extremely overwhelmed with debt. They're usually paying above and beyond their minimum payments to accelerate that payoff process. They're usually writing big checks to the IRS every year, and they're either borrowing to finance their lifestyles and their business expenses, or they may have some assets saved up and they find themselves in this vicious, repetitive cycle of draining and replenishing. So what I do is provide plans to eliminate debt, reduce your taxes, and be your own bank so that you can save more and invest more today and create in preparation for a secure financial future.
Well, listen, Javon, I know that you're speaking directly to some people's soul right now because unfortunately, most people, I'm sure, start businesses and you really don't have it's not like you get like a playbook, especially a financial playbook to help you kind of navigate some of the things that we fall into when it comes to just kind of managing your money. And so I would love to hear more about what inspires you to do this. I know it takes special heart to be able to work with entrepreneurs. A lot of times you're probably dealing with people who are stressed and just trying to figure it all out. So tell us a little bit about like what inspires you to take that on.
Yeah, well, really for me, my inspiration is just the ability to be free, right? The freedom to be who I want to be, have what I want to have, go where I want, believe what I want, right? And of course, buy what I want, right? Because a lot of times when people look at me, they see a person who has accomplished a lot, and I really have. I'm a four-time published author. I'm the owner of my own financial firm. I left corporate America at age 24, making six figures. People thought I was crazy, by the way. I built a $500,000 home at the age of 25 with my ex, 15 years as an entrepreneur. But what people don't know about me is that in 2009, I had the rug pulled completely right from under me. I found myself broke, busted, and disgusted, barefoot and pregnant, okay, after the 2008 real estate bust. I had lost almost 80% of my savings in that bust. Foreclosures became my reality, repos, bankruptcies, divorce, all of that became my reality. And I remember finding myself sitting on the side of my grandmother's bed during the Christmas holiday week because I decided to spend that time with her since I didn't want to be alone since I was separated from my ex at the time. And a colleague had given me a book to read, and I decided to read it during that time, and it was called Tax-Free Retirement by a guy named Patrick Kelly. But what I learned from that book was mind-blowing because ironically, I had been pre-exposed to that information 3 years prior. But let me remind you, 3 years prior, I was flying high, flipping properties, doing a lot of great things with my resources. But the people who shared the information with me during that time, they didn't give me all of the information. But had I known what I was reading in the book at that time, I would have definitely made some different choices, which would have had a great impact at my then current situation. It would have been totally different. And I know you, Brian, a lot of the others who are watching today can definitely relate to that, where you've gotten information, but you didn't get all of the information. And that's why I'm really so passionate about the strategy that I had learned in the book, Being Your Own Bank, because at that point I decided I was going to become a messenger of good news because I just didn't want any of my family and friends to have to go through that financial devastation that I endured. So that's my true motivation and inspiration.
Absolutely. And so, well, tell me a little bit more. Can we dive for a couple seconds into this topic or this philosophy of you be the bank, like finance yourself the wealth, because I know that's what you talk about. So like, what does that mean to an entrepreneur? Like, how do we become the bank?
Great question. Being your own bank, first and foremost, is a mindset. Okay. It's a wealth creator's mindset. Graduating our belief systems from the debtor and the saver's mentality that we've been indoctrinated into that wealth creator's mentality. Once you got the right mindset, then it's a strategy or a financial position where you have liquidity, use, and control of the resources that you have accumulated. Okay. Then you're able to start to build wealth just like traditional banks do, right? Using one of the most powerful concepts in the financial world called leverage, okay? But unfortunately, we have been leveraged versus being the leverager. So that's a quick, I can't do much more than that in the time that we have, but that's a quick.
I know that, as they say, that's all you get for free, right?
We only got 5 minutes.
Well, Jevon, I want to give you an opportunity to close out. I've learned a lot, and really what we're doing is piquing people's interest, because I don't have any doubt right now that if there is an entrepreneur, a business owner listening to this, watching this, that they would not be encouraged to reach out to you. But what do you want to be remembered for? I want to give you an opportunity to close out that question like everyone else. What does Javon Jackson, Dr. Javon Jackson, want to be remembered for?
You know, for me, it's all about, I want to be remembered as a person of significance and impact. I want to be remembered as she was that ancestor that helped thousands of families build and leave generational wealth and freedom for their children's children. And that she also helped to close the wealth gap that exists in our community today. That's what I want to be remembered by.
Dr. Jackson, I have no doubt that you are well on the way. And thank you again for your service as well. I did not know that you were a veteran as well. So that is outstanding. If you want to connect with Javon Jackson, please make sure you head over to blackspeakersnetwork.com. Her website is there. We are actually in the process of creating like an entire accounting and finance community within BSN. And Jevon, you know that you're being tapped on the shoulder for that, because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to this money topic. So thank you so much, and I'm excited to continue to work with you.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me and the BSN family. Love you guys.
Love you too. All right, so we are rocking and rolling right on through this thing. BSN Speaker Spotlight interviews. We are going to our next fourth person with absolutely no delay. Actually, speaking number 4 with absolutely no delay, because they are ready and excited to come on up. So our next speaker is coming all the way from Wilson, North Carolina, and that is Miss Lakia Crutchfield. Kia Chronicles LLC is in the building. Lakia, welcome to the series, and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for BSN at large. It's been a blessing. About me, I am a mom, wife, serial entrepreneur, author, and coach. I am a growth mindset and communication expert, and I am assisting individuals through experiences, education, start a fire inside of them to push them to their purpose.
Wow. I love that. I love evocative language where you can really visualize what's happening. So when you say things like light a fire inside of them, that really sticks out to me. So tell us a little bit about like what inspires you, and also like what lights the fire like within you, like what gets you out of bed in the morning and helps you kind of get focused on doing this work.
Well, I would have to say seeing change. This was a very personal thing in the beginning, which is what authored my book. It's my experience. The title of my book is My Flesh is Killing Me. So the fire had to be ignited through experiences, and I learned a lot. That growth mindset and communication is what got me to where I am. I had to realize that just because I had gone through some things, or just because I had come up with some things, did not mean I couldn't be great, and that there wasn't a fire to be ignited on the inside of me as well. So inspiring me is that change, that light bulb coming on, the person saying, oh my gosh, yes, I can do this. That's what inspires me. It's the impact. I love it.
Makes perfect sense to me. So tell us a little bit about the person, like who is it that you love working with? Because it seems like your message can be applicable to many different types of people, many different walks of life. But like, who is it? Like, if you could only work with like one, profession or one type of person or one group, like who is the people that you're like, okay, this is my tribe. I really enjoy working with these people.
I would have to say it's young to middle-aged women. A lot of times we lose ourselves in people, or we lose ourselves in jobs, or we haven't even found ourselves and we're just kind of existing instead of living. So a lot of the people that I get to work with are that young to middle-aged, possible mom or just woman trying to figure out what in the world am I here for?
That that's great. That's great. And so can you tell us a little bit about that your maybe your methodology? So like let's say, you're working with someone, young woman, I'll say, 29 years old, and they need help. They don't know what direction to go. They're just floating out there, but they know they have more to do. Like what would be like your first one or two steps that you uh employ to kind of help getting them into the right direction?
Well, the first things we always start with is how in the world did you get here? Did you get here by chance or by choice? A lot of times I talk about to people, we don't realize we really didn't choose where we are. Sometimes it was chosen by our family, or it would just landed in our lap because we were good at it, or I just needed to make some money. And so I've been here for 20 years. So a lot of times we start with how in the world did I get here? And now how can I keep moving forward? That's what we have to start with, because once we figure that out, once people figure out, you know what, hey, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be here. Then they'll figure out, you know what, it's time to move. It's time to ignite something else, because I don't want to live the rest of my life the way I'm living it right now.
Well said. Well said. I know you have this principle of essentially navigating through life. And so it's making decisions throughout life as we grow and change. And one of the, and listening to you talk about this principle of going back and figuring out like, how do we get here? I think it's very powerful because sometimes we just get so busy living, living, living. We don't take the time to go back and actually reflect. And, a lot of times, decisions that or practices, the things that we're doing may be born out of where we were instead of trying to get us to where we're trying to go next. You could probably say that much more eloquently
I
than me.
tell people all the time, some of the issues we have are not even our own issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like we're borrowing, and so having the opportunity to slow down, to speed up, I think it's really really good. And unfortunately, I don't think there are enough people doing that work that allow people to kind of get their North Star centered, if you will, to get back on the right track.
Yes.
Um, what is it? What's top of mind for you right now this year? Like obviously we are going it feels like a lot of people kind of are in that place of transition right now. Is there anything like top of mind for you, or that you're seeing an increase of just as you're working with people or speaking or hearing the conversations just happening around you?
A lot of people right now in my space, is that the mindset and the mental health, um, figuring out, oh my gosh, I've lived this way for 40 years and now what am I going to do? Or am I stuck? Oh my gosh, it's a pandemic and everybody else is doing this and doing that, and I don't know what I want to do. So, you know what? I'm just going to shut down. I'm depressed. I don't want to move forward. I don't know how to move forward. It's that mindset and mental health and breaking them out of that cycle, that fixed mindset per se, to the growth mindset, because a lot of people don't understand that they are even in the place of a fixed mindset and it can change.
Absolutely. Well, with the few seconds that we have left, Lakia, we've already, kind of shed light on a lot of things. Just tell us what it is that you want to be remembered for.
What I want to be remembered for is quite simple. I want to be remembered as the girl who started the fire. And to a
Mm.
lot of people, that may sound crazy, but to me, that means I started something on the inside of someone that they're now going to move forward, push towards their purpose, come out of depression, come out of the mental health crisis, and do something with their life that they can be remembered for as well.
All right. I absolutely love it. And no, she's not setting actual fires. She is setting fires, metaphorical fires for any law enforcement people watching. This is the internet, so we want to make sure we're clear.
Yes.
That is great, Lakia. Thank you so much. If y'all want to connect with Lakia, if you're hosting a meeting, if you are that person, if you are that woman that is looking for direction, make sure you reach out to her. You can find her profile at blackspeakersnetwork.com. Click on the speakers directory or go to speaker-directory and make sure you find her, Lakia Crutchfield. And Lakia, thank you so much for being part of Black Speakers Network community. And thank you for sharing your message today.
Thank you. And I thank you for the platform as well.
My pleasure. All right. We are rocking and rolling, y'all. And listen, I know we've had a number of people, even throughout the course of this Speaker Spotlight series, ask us like, hey, I would love to come and do one of these interviews. And my advice is, yes, I would love to have you come do one. And so if that is you, again, you could go to blackspeakersnetwork.com/join, and you can become a BSN premium member. And once you do that, you will fill out what we call a BSN speaker profile. Your speaker profile activates a couple things for us. Number one, it gives us an opportunity to learn more about you and figure out exactly what tools and resources you may need immediate access to. But number two, it will also add you to our online speakers directory, where there are hundreds of speakers across multiple categories, many of whom you're going to get an opportunity to hear from throughout the course of this series. And as meeting planners come to our website, again, national conference organizers, we have folks that are, looking for speakers for TEDx opportunities. We have folks that are, booking podcasts. We have media journalists that are looking for quotes from experts. They come to Black Speakers Network, and whether they use the directory or ask us or my team directly, we go right back to the directory and try to find you. And so that is the place that you want to be if you are a Black speaker. So make sure that you are not only just a BSN premium member, but make sure you get that profile filled out so that we can get you added to the directory. You need a headshot, you need a business phone number, a website, and a bio, 150 words. And if you have those things in place, we can get you added in about a week. And so that is what we're looking for. But as we move right in, we're going to our fifth interview for today. Coming all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, we have Latonya Beard in the building. And Latonya, thank you so much for being here. And
so good to be here.
Yes, welcome so much. And man, I gotta get that. Memphis is the place with the great barbecue, right?
Right.
Yeah. I need to get it in, but let's stay focused. Welcome. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Latonya Beard, evangelist, founder of Church Lady Cares Ministries. Our motto is we care for hearts, souls, and minds, and we want to grow together. We come to inspire, encourage, and let men and women know that we really do care. And like Brian said, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm an intercessor and a published author and a motivational speaker.
Yes. Now, Latonya, you actually bring a number of things to the table. I get the sense that people are constantly reaching out to you for like encouragement. They're reaching out for prayer. So who are the people that you love working with? Like, who is your tribe, or who are the people that you find reaching out to you the most?
Most of the time, I get a lot of women, but I do get men as well. I always tell people, being a oracle for Christ, you can have a variety audience, because I know if I'm speaking at a women's conference, that message has to be tailored for women. But if I'm speaking to young girls and young boys in school, it have to be tailored for that particular audience. So it depends. When you are speaking for God, when you have a message for the people, you have to be very equipped, well equipped, how to tailor that message for each individual.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense to me. And we talk about that a lot within BSN. You have to be able to kind of know your environment and adjust accordingly. So that is great. So tell us a little bit about like how you got here. I would love to know maybe like a summarized version of how you got into this work. I know some people are like they pick something, they study to do it, and then some other people are kind of called into specific ministries. So tell us a little bit about like your journey into this powerful space.
Yes. So of course I am definitely one. I believe that God called me to do this. I did go to what we call like missionary school to help with some of the classes that we have to take. But this is definitely a called assignment. And I always say I'm an ambassador for Christ and that I'm one of his mouthpieces. So you got to represent him well. So I understand everything that comes out of my mouth, it matters, but I've been doing this a very long time. I've been doing this what we would call as gathering people together to let them know that God cares for them, and no matter what you have done, God is still there, and that he can and will help you through whatever situation that you're going through. So I've been doing this a very long time.
I believe that, and the work shows. Now, I know that I'm not sure if you're still hosting it, but you used to host a conference in Memphis, Tennessee, every single year. Can you tell folks a little bit about like what that experience was? Because I feel like that highlights what you're talking about now, which is creating environments and spaces and communities to bring people together. So, could you share a little bit about what that was about?
Yes, it's called the Dunamis Conference, and Dunamis is strictly meaning power. So at this conference, I'm still hosting it. We have it in October, so it will be this October 2022 in Memphis, Tennessee. This will be the fifth year. And we come together. We have training sessions. We have what we call revivals, where we just have people to let them know you got to have power in order to make it, in order to stand. So, yes, this conference is dear to my heart. I was in prayer one day and God just said, I want you to have a dunamis conference and I want you to bring people together and let them know if they have the right power, if they have the power that I can give them, they will be able to take it, they will be able to last, and they will be able to sustain whatever they got to go through in life.
I love that so much because I think sometimes we can tend to wait for specific things to happen, like opportunities or jobs, careers, like businesses. We just kind of sometimes like in life we get stuck like waiting, and then you're a great example to me of someone who just says, you know what, I'm going to create and then bring the people to me, and I like that approach. So I mean, I think both is fine. Like we should be reaching out to the world and seeing what opportunities we can get, but also the power to create our own experiences. And it doesn't necessarily be a conference. I think that's amazing because not everybody could do that, but like being able to take action and have things that you have direct control over to go directly to what you're called to do, I think is outstanding. So congratulations on that. Last question as we wrap up, as we ask everyone here, Latonya, how do you want to be remembered? Like, what do you want to be remembered for? What's that legacy look like and feel like to you?
I want people to remember me just by saying Latonya tried to bring the best version of herself to the table. Granted, everyone will have flaws, but you cannot let your flaws dictate where you're going next. Your flaws cannot stop you. You have to keep going. We will all go through something. We all been through something. But as long as you have breath in your body, every day God allows you to wake up. That means he has promises that he still have to fulfill in your life. So I tell everybody everywhere that I go, I want people to remember that God loves you no matter what you have done, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you're going to do tomorrow. He still loves you. He cares for you. And so does Church Lady Cares, which is me.
Church Lady Cares. I love it. Latonya, thank you so much. And if you want to connect with Latonya, and I know we got a ton of people in Memphis, Tennessee anyway, but even outside of that, just around the country or across the world, make sure you connect with her, blackspeakersnetwork.com, speakers directory, and keep doing the incredible work that you're doing, Latonya. And thanks for being a part of the BSN community.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. All right. So we are rocking and rolling. We just heard from Latonya. We have speaker number 6 coming on board. And listen, again, if you are new and you're wondering what the heck is happening, this is BSN Speaker Spotlight Interviews, 5-minute rapid fire interviews. We've heard from 5 speakers already. We are going to speaker number 6 right now, who I believe is out in Illinois, in Crete, Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, and that is Miss Nikeya Young. Nikeya, you could go ahead, unmute yourself, tell the people a little bit about you, and
Hi.
spotlight.
Thank you so much. Again, like he said, my name is Nikeya Young, author, certified master life coach, speaker, and newly licensed minister from Crete, Illinois. And I'm so happy to be here on today. I provide victorious living solutions for Christian millennial women and so much more.
Yes, so much more. I'm gonna see how much of what you do we can get in, because you do a lot. And I know about it. So let's go ahead. First of all, can you tell the people a little bit about like what inspires you, what motivates you, like what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Okay, so a little bit about what inspires me, what gets me out of bed in the morning. I was just telling a group yesterday my backstory. My mother had a autoimmune disease, and it caused her, she didn't know she had it at the time, but she had 5 miscarriages before having me. So I was the 6th attempt and the only child that she had. And just thinking about that every day and knowing everything that it took to get me here, even on days when I want to give up, I cannot, because my mother, who passed away when I was 14, went through hell and high water to get me here. And every day that I'm on this planet, I'm going to make the most of it.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if producers are watching like you know how you get these like made to TV movies or these scripts, but somebody needs to pick that up. That is absolutely incredible. The 6th child, like the 6th attempt and the only child. That's
and my parents actually they got divorced and they got remarried, and I was born the 2nd marriage. So it was like multiple miracles had to line up for me to be here. So yeah.
There's no question in my mind that you're supposed to be here. So tell us a little bit about who you love working with. Obviously, you bring a lot of skills to the table, but like, who is your tribe? Who are the people that you are most called to serve?
Thank you so much. Well, I actually love working with millennials. I love working with Gen Z. I love working with students. I'm actually a former educator. I used to teach in Chicago public schools. So I love when I get to interact with teenagers who are in high school and they're getting ready to be launched out into the world, and even college students who are in college and they're trying to figure out this thing called adulthood. That is my sweet spot. And I truly feel that those are the people that I'm called to serve. And anyone who has a God-given purpose and needs a little bit of help drawing that out, I am here for you as well.
Love it. Absolutely. So I know you bring a lot of different skills to the table. And so drawing on your background, I know you were your vocalist. So you sang, you were nominated for actually Vocalist of the Year at the Chicago Gospel Music Awards. But you're also an actress. You appeared on multiple television segments, including Chicago Fire, I believe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And movie Divergent, and lots of other exciting projects. What is it that about, or is there any correlation you think to your experience as an actress and a vocalist, and does that inform your work or your speaking ability, or do those things kind of complement each other as you go about the service that you do?
They absolutely do. I am one of those people who, when the teacher would ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would rattle off about 10 things, and she would say, okay, well, can you narrow it down? And I'm like, no. So all of the experiences feed off of each other. And just because I am a multi-hyphen and I do a lot of things, I do have different things I focus on at any given time. So I'm not always doing all of those things at the same time. But different experiences that I've taken from each of those things have helped me. Even being a school teacher, if you can hold your own in front of CPS children, you can perform in front of any audience, because kids will let you know, like they can be a tough crowd, but I just appreciate all of those experiences and how they come together and how I'm able to share different things that I've learned with others. It's been a great journey.
Wow. Yes. I can only imagine. And sometimes it's almost like you read people's resume and you almost think it got mixed with somebody else's resume. Like, there's no way she could be, not 90 and did this and these things, but you put it all together to make it work. In the time that we have left, can you tell the people, like, what is it that you want to be remembered for? Like, when you think about your legacy and the sum total of everything that you're doing now, what is it that that represents to you?
I think that if I can be remembered for anything, I want people to say, if Nikeya Young didn't do nothing else, that woman ate obstacles for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. If an obstacle was placed in front of her, she found a way to overcome it. She made the most of the resources that she had. She didn't focus on what she didn't have. She used what she had to get what she wanted, and she taught others how to do the same.
Beautiful, beautifully said. Nikeya Young is here. Thank you so much. And again, if you want to connect with her, I'm just blown away at the talent and the resources and just like knowledge within our BSN community. And you're a great example of that. You can connect with Nikeya at blackspeakersnetwork.com, speakers directory. And Nikeya, keep up the great work. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. You are absolutely welcome. I'll talk to you soon. All right. So it just continues to like blow my mind. Like and doing these interviews is really a unique thing for me, because it's one thing to have an opportunity to read people's bios, and again, this is only 5 minutes, so you're just getting the scratch of the surface, but it is really, really impressive to talk to people with so much life experience, with so much education, and and it's one thing to learn something, but it's another thing to be around people who are taking what they know and applying it out into the field. And really, that's what Black Speakers Network was created. Our book, Speak Up, came from our tagline, Speak Up, Your Audience Awaits. And the premise of that tagline is that there's an audience out there waiting for you. There's somebody right now that needs your message. And, not everybody needs to be in front of, millions and millions of people in order to make that possible. Some of us will be, but your audience is actually waiting for you. And so getting an opportunity to do these speaker spotlight interviews just kind of brings that into more focus for me. But speaking of focus, I'm about to introduce you to Mr. Focus. That is not his tagline, but I think it fits really well. So we got Dr. Sherman in the building now. He is from Hopewell, Virginia. And so I am super excited to connect. Sir, welcome back to Black Speakers Network. And please tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Brian, nice to see you, man. Brothers, good to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on Black Speaker Network live interview series. It's really nice, man, to be here. I'm Sherman Urquhart. I'm from a small town in Southwest Virginia. Country roots. Our family was close-knit, sort of country values. And after graduating high school, I moved to Central Virginia, Richmond area for school. And then took some twists and turns in my life, some ups and downs, mostly downs. So I went through an interesting period. And after that, coming out of that with the help of the Lord, he helped me come out of that. Then after that, I sort of stepped into, like the last speaker said, into education, and found sort of my calling and mission. So I've been in education and mental health and workforce development. My friends were like, well, you need to write about these things and, maybe become a life coach. This is like 2015. I said, okay, I'll look into that, and found and prayed about it and found that that was the right thing to do for me. So wrote a few books and started coaching people, and, continued with workforce development and graduate school through the coaching, started speaking. I found that I enjoyed that. So I also started acting as well. So I started doing that too, based on some childhood dreams, and I come to the point where you want to try everything that you always wanted to do. So that's a season that I had to go through. So now I sort of help people through leadership coaching and companies through a company I started, Urquhart Solutions, to sort of broaden my impact and reach to help organizations, nonprofits too, to reach even more people. So that's what I do now.
Outstanding. One of the things I recognize is if I can get myself back on the screen, but while I work on that, one of the things I recognize, Dr. Sherman, is that like success leaves clues. And I think at the end of the day, it's no surprise to me that you're able to go from, acting, your work and workforce development, education, and then, once you achieve certain things, your confidence and your ability to really execute and get things done continues to increase. And so it's no surprise to me that you're able to parlay success in one field to another. And so I have no idea why I can't come back on the screen. But while you're still on the screen, I'll go to our next question, which is, tell us a little bit about like, who do you love working with? Like in your mind, like who's your ideal audience and who are the people that you love serving?
That has changed over time and evolved from basically people who were going through things, going through trouble. I was always sort of a voice of reason, a voice of support and encouragement. To when I started in education in middle school, I've done K-12, I've taught all levels in some form or fashion. But finding young people who are about to graduate high school and moving on to the next phase of their life, I got the opportunity to work with disconnected kids. Mostly and particularly children of color. And I found that some of the same situations that I was going through, I was witnessing with these kids. So I was able to find my tribe, helping young people. And over the course of the last 10 years or so, the jobs that I've had, whether it be education and classroom instruction or some sort of administration or workforce development, mental health, I've always been able to help that same group of people, that same group of young people, some older folks too, who maybe have lost their way or they've had some sort of traumatic event. So they need some sort of support and encouragement to get back on the right track of the goals that they have. Sometimes they don't know what their goals are. So we work through that too, find out what you're passionate about, what purpose you can walk in, but basically narrowing it down to, young people, 18 to 25, especially those who are disconnected, don't have adequate resources, and are in danger of maybe going through some of the same mistakes that I did. I stopped them and turned them the other way.
Oh, got you. And listen, I appreciate your fact that you're able to be like so vulnerable about the journey, and that at the end of the day, man, your ability to kind of give back. I think you cannot be a life coach. You can't be in this space and not have like a servant's heart. And also, similar to what I spoke about Jevon earlier, I know that you're a lifelong learner as well. And so what is it right now that you're seeing? Like, from your perspective, like what are the conversations that are happening? What's like top of mind for you? Like when you wake up, that you want, like issues in the world that you want to see addressed, or things that you want to have an immediate impact on?
There are so many, with last week just alone, if you want, I had a podcast called The Synopsis that I had a couple of years ago after George Floyd got murdered. There for everybody to see, mostly political, drawing attention and awareness to the fact that it's, the time has come for a lot of pages to turn a society involving race and things like that. We all know that. But then it evolved into something more cultural, lifestyle, news, sports. So that sort of thing inspired me to sort of keep my ear to the ground, but also provide information and resources in a way that people might not normally get. They might not normally look at, a news station or whatever the case may be. But for a while, then, I still do sometimes provide that sort of information and resources for people who might not otherwise see it. So that sort of drives me too. The state of the world is tough, and it can get sort of sad if you let it. But the Lord always has a plan in things. It's always good to look for the silver lining, as they say. That's not just a cliche; it actually works. So staying in good energy, staying in positive energy. And I have to do that for these kids. I got 2 kids, so they inspire me the most. But staying in good energy and making sure you have your ear to the ground and being a voice, going out there and using your voice, whether it's voting, whether it's going down to community functions, to council meetings and school board meetings and speaking. Let your voice be heard. Take part in what's happening in society, so it just doesn't. So you're not being reactive. You're being proactive.
Absolutely, well said. And so I'm navigating some technical difficulties over here. However, I am still going to go to my last question, and hopefully I could get back on the screen. And so my last question is, what is it that you think that is going to be your legacy, or what are you striving? Oh, there we go. What are you striving to be your legacy? So at the end of the day, what do you want people to remember Dr. Sherman for?
I think through the generations, we want to always do better than the last generation. We want to always do better than our parents did, and then our parents should want us to have done better than they did.
Yes.
I'd like for my legacy to be that I set my children up so that they could do better than me, and I've set the bar sort of high for them, and they know that. But that's fine. That's what I want. That means they can reach even more people. At the very minimum, they'll be able to reach even more people than me and have sort of a bigger impact than I did. So if something were to happen to me, I'd want to be remembered as somebody who was a man of service, who was given a second chance and ran with it, who tried everything he wanted to try, who had no regrets, and used a little bit of time that he had on the planet to inspire the maximum amount of people that he could.
Perfectly said. I hope that, these series actually serve to, be a gift even to like the people in your family and extended family, just to be able to hear directly from you, what it is that you stand for. And I definitely appreciate that. Dr. Sherman, you inspire me, man. By the way, first of all, let me handle the logistics. If you want to connect with Dr. Sherman, please make sure you head to our website at blackspeakersnetwork.com/speakers directory. You could connect with him directly. His business phone number is on there, and you could reach out to get more information. Now, Dr. Sherman, just as a quick question, I know you said you were from Southwest Virginia. Are you familiar with a little town called Franklin, Virginia?
Franklin. Yeah, there's a Franklin not too far from here in Hopewell. It's about 45 minutes south, going down 95 and a little bit east.
Yep. So that's where my grandfather's family is from. And so we might be related, or like neighbors or something like that down the line.
You never know.
But thank you for all that you do, man. Thanks for bearing with me with some of these technical difficulties, but you did great. I appreciate you. Continue to do the great work that you do. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you here in the BSN community, Dr. Sherman.
Thank you, sir. You too. You inspire me too. Take care. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Take care. All right. So we are rocking and rolling. I'm just continuously, I'm honored that I get an opportunity to just continue to learn from folks like this. And one of the things I didn't get a chance to mention, Dr. Sherman has this really, really great quote that I wanted to pull out. It said, "Today will be the day you let go of your mistakes and walk away from the patterns of inconsistency that have held you back from your calling." I thought that was an amazing quote that he actually has on his website. And so I just want to leave that with you in case you need to drop that into somebody's spirit. Now, we are rolling right into our eighth and ninth speakers. They're going to be good. Number one, they're the most patient people here in Black Speakers Network because they've been hanging on. But our next speaker is Miss Tamika Michelle Johnson. She is joining us today from Atlanta, Georgia. Tamika Michelle Johnson, Esquire, so he's a lawyer. Welcome to the Black Speakers Network Spotlight Series, Tamika, and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So first I want to say thank you for having this platform. And if you are not a premium member of BSN, you need to join today. It is an amazing community. So yes, Tamika Johnson. I'm also known as the matchmaking attorney. I am an attorney. I've been practicing for over 15 years in the Atlanta area. But just like so many other amazing, successful, professional, high-achieving women who checked all the boxes growing up. We went to school, we graduated, we went to college, we go to church, got a good job, had a career. financially secure. We thought that soon after that, we were going to get married, have children, and live happily ever after. But things don't happen like that. And what I quickly realized as an attorney was that the more successful that women become, especially women of color, the more challenging dating and relationships are. I had my own experiences, and I saw so many other, like I said, beautiful, amazing women who were struggling in that arena, just looking perfect on paper, women I call bosses by day, but single by night. And so after navigating my own experiences again at the age of 40, I had to make a change, and I had to be more intentional about my personal relationships, just like I was about my education and career. And after getting married and having a couple of children in my 40s, I married, like I said, I married a great guy. I launched a matchmaking agency last year. And then this year, I also launched a magazine where I meshed my two careers, my passion for estate planning and getting our affairs in order and wealth and generational wealth, as well as relationships. I launched the magazine and I addressed all of those relationships, legal, business, wealth, and health.
Outstanding. Okay, well, I have like 80 questions for you, so I'm gonna try to consolidate them as much as possible. First of all, you're in Atlanta and you started a dating agency there. I think that story is really, really inspiring, as well as your kind of your axiom of when it comes to professional like women, bosses by day, but single by night, and people that are like you said, checking all the other boxes, but are coming up short in the dating department. I find that really, really inspiring, but I think a lot of people can relate with that because, sometimes these are ideas that are juxtaposed. It's kind of like you have to sacrifice being a boss in order to find love, and if you really want to find love, you need to be home. So I think a lot of professional women and men struggle to make that balance work, and you are working directly with you're putting out resources like the magazine, and you're creating community, and you created an entire agency around it. And so I would love to know more about who would be like the ideal person right now, if you can give like more detail around them that should be, talking with you, working with you, seeking you out in this season in their life.
So it's really going to be, again, those high achieving women, primarily women of color, who are around 35 to 45. And that's the hot spot for me, because 35 is about the age when women, if they don't have children, their biological clock starts banging. There's no longer ticking, but banging. And they start rushing. They start sacrificing their values and settling as they approach 40. And so I love that age group of women, because again, I had two children in my 40s. I had one at 41 and 43. I got married at 41. And so I love meeting women in that demographic, because I can show them that it can happen, and just kind of like slow down. Let's rethink our approach to dating and relationships, because I had to do a little tweaking. I had my own transformation. I had to really dissect again, how I was approaching relationships as a woman in a male-dominated industry, like so many women that I know. We are in alpha mode, a lot of times during the day, and we can't bring that same energy into a relationship. So it's not about being like completely submissive, but there is a little tweaking that we can do to our approach to relationships. So between 35, 45, that's like the hot spot right there for me.
Absolutely. And then what do you feel like are some of the misconceptions that many of your clients come to you with that you have to maybe do a little work to break out? Is there anything in common that they share that is almost like a false belief or narrative that you see kind of repeating over and over again?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that successful women say is that men are intimidated by their success. And I don't really buy into that. I don't think that is it at all. I think men appreciate and they respect a successful woman. But again, it's our approach. We kind of want to take the same mentality that we have at work that works for us during the day and take it to a relationship. So men are not intimidated by it, but they have certain needs that they have to have fulfilled from a woman. And vice versa. There's certain things that men need to do in order to be compatible with women as well. So I think the biggest thing is that men are intimidated by their success, and that's not true. And so what I've done is I've actually created some principles, business of dating principles, where we take certain business principles that have made you successful in your profession, in your career, and we apply them to dating and relationships, because we all love and can use systems and processes, right, to be efficient. So I teach women how to be a little bit more efficient in dating in order to find the men that they actually desire to have.
Perfect. And I think that's incredibly, incredibly helpful. Apologize for the ring. It wasn't supposed to go off like that while you're talking, but I think your message is coming through loud and clear. One of the last things I would love for you to just touch on is, I know you're doing this important work around estate planning, and oftentimes, and it's so great that, you know, you're kind of blending so many things that, you know, people need, because, you know, you're helping people potentially start families and get in relationships, but then, you know, you're taking care of making sure people have their affairs in order as well. What is it that you want people to know about, you know, the estate planning process, or, you know, getting like their paperwork in order? Like, what is it like, you know, if you had to kind of sum it up, what is the key message that you want people to know about that part of what you do?
Yeah. So estate planning is one of those things that people are always like, yeah, I know I need to do it, but they don't do it. But it is so vital. I have seen so much property lost, wealth lost, because people have not taken the time to set up their affairs. There's a lot of secrecy sometimes in families. And then relationships are just destroyed. And you've seen it. I've seen it when someone passes. You know, people come out the woodwork, there's fights. And again, we spend so much money trying to litigate those things, when you could have simply, while you're in the right state of mind, to put your affairs in order. You don't have to have $1 million estate in order to do so. We want to protect our children if they're under 18, because if something happens to you, you don't want an 18-year-old to inherit an estate or a house without certain conditions, right? Or protections. So you want to do that. In my own family, I've seen property lost in the fights and money just spent. So just keeping all of that together. So many people call me when someone is on their deathbed, when they're sick, when they have cancer, when they're on dialysis, and I can't help you then. And so in order to avoid all of that and to make sure things go as smoothly as possibly, and as efficiently as possible, and as cheap as possible, we want to go ahead and set our affairs together so we can create that wealth that we want to pass down to our future generations.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much. And last question as we wrap up, what is it that you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for being a connector, not just in relationships, but also in business. I've always been an entrepreneur. So, you know, in things like referrals and clients and businesses, getting people connected in all those realms, because when you have healthy relationships, you have healthy businesses, you have healthy families, and you can pass those down to your children and generation to generation. So to me, the foundation is healthy relationships and healthy business.
Perfectly said. And certainly in alignment with what we're doing here in Black Speakers Network, because I love connecting people and making sure I just strive off of relationships. But Tamika, Michelle, Johnson, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to connect with her, obviously you mentioned a lot of different properties that you have, from the magazine to the community. Make sure that you connect with her at blackspeakersnetwork.com/speaker directory. Make sure that you follow her on social media and just get connected, because I know for a fact, Tamika, there's somebody out here listening, whether live or maybe, you know, into the future in the replay, needs to is either probably looking for love or needs to, like, you know, protect their legacy and protect their family with some of the work that you do. So thank you.
Thank you. Be sure to join as a premium member if you haven't already.
Absolutely. Do that, because listen, this is about to get crazy. Thank you, Tamika. I appreciate you so much. Last but not least, we are rolling right into our final speaker. And listen, again, we have some incredible people here in BSN, and the next person is absolutely no exception. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Miss Tyra Gardner is here. She has been waiting patiently, and I'm so excited that you are because I cannot wait to talk to you. But before we do, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you, Brian, and Black Speakers Network for having me on today. My name is Tyra Gardner. I'm a psychotherapist, nationally certified anger management specialist, speaker, author, media contributor, as well as the recession-proof therapist. I practice mental health therapy out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I also work as a mental health coach in other states. I also work with business owners as a business coach. I have a signature program that I love to talk about called My Outlet, and my goal is to make everybody laugh. And what laugh is to live anger free.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Now, just to set some context, since you are a psychotherapist, can you give people like me who may hear like a lot of different terms like psychologist, psychotherapist, just all the P's, right? Like, can you say kind of the difference between like what a psychotherapist actually does, or give us that framework?
Okay, so what I will do is give you pretty much we all do the same thing.
Okay.
We all psychotherapists pretty much do the same as we all do pretty much are in the same realm. We actually help everyone, right? What we do is we usually talk, we do a lot of talk therapy and we treat for emotional problems as well as mental illness. We get more in depth into the clinical perspective.
That's a good foundation. Appreciate that. Okay, so who do you actually love working with? Because and I want to dive into a little bit about the fact that you're a certified anger management specialist. I don't know anybody else that does that, but tell us a little bit about who it is that you love serving, and then we can get into kind of some of the fundamentals of what that entails.
Okay. Well, I love serving anyone who is experiencing troubles, right? Anybody who is having a struggle with daily life struggles, anybody who's experiencing family issues, anybody who is experiencing any type of thing that is discouraging them in their personal life. If you're experiencing things that's happening within your business life, if you're experiencing times of outbursts or rage, even if you're experiencing issues with, being overwhelmed because of your finances, business structure, family, anything that, you feel might be a problem for you, even if you're having trouble with trying to get the next big ideal out and you need to know what is my next step. That is my ideal clients. Anyone who is having those type of experiences, whether it's a man or a woman.
So let's talk a little bit about the pandemic, because you said that you kind of have been the go-to person. What was it that you said again? You said you were like the something to do with the pandemic. You were like you're the go-to person.
What? Because I was recession proof.
Recession proof. Okay. Well, I don't know where my mind went to pandemic, but yes, no, recession proof. Yes, let's get to that. That's actually better because that's kind of like more topical. So, what does that mean? Because like right now, and obviously, a lot of things come up when from when things start to get tight economically. A lot of things around our life can begin to fall apart, and so I really want to dive into that philosophy of what it means to be like recession proof. Are you helping people kind of navigate the realities of what could potentially be some of the negative consequences of riding the waves of challenging economic times?
Yeah, so what I do is I speak with people about being able to find other alternatives in regards to finances, finding other things to do, whether it's start a business, starting another job, being able to utilize all of their career skills, right, that they may have to be able to monetize from that. So what I've done for myself, which I started this over 20 years ago, is I was able to recession proof my life by basically doing other trades, right? So not only am I a psychotherapist, but I'm a licensed nail technician, right? I'm also a notary public for the state of Pennsylvania. I also am a business coach. right? So it's not like, and I do, have travel agency under my belt. I've done real estate consulting because I did attend the real estate institute, right? So it's like what I do is I try to help people be able to navigate all of their inner abilities so that they can understand how to bring them out and be able to utilize all of the skills that they have. God gave all of us a skill to use, right? Now it's time to tap into those skills because we spend so much time focusing on everything that we learned in school. Not saying that's not important, because that's very important also, right? But the thing is being able to know, what is my purpose? A lot of people would like to know what their purpose is because they have spent so much time doing what everyone else wants them to do and not what they want to do for themselves. And so now it's time to get with them and be able to help them be able to find out, what do I want to do? Who do I want to show up as, professionally as well as personally? And that's what I do.
That's really, really powerful. So essentially you believe that everybody has a skill that they could monetize, and that would effectively recession proof that their ability to go out and earn income at any time, regardless of what's happening like externally.
They should be able to.
That's powerful. And anger. Let's talk about anger. Why the focus on anger, and what made you get certified in helping people, I guess, not be able to manage that anger. Yeah.
You know what, Brian? It's funny because I have anger, right? And so when I decided to become a nationally certified anger management specialist, I was already working as a therapist, and I was actually working with teens and adults and helping them with combat the issues that they were experiencing with anger. So it came natural because we see a lot of people who have a lot of issues with rage. We see a lot of people, doing things that, that are questionable, and they're like, okay, I don't understand where it came from because I don't have, anger issues. Where people say they don't have anger issues, everybody has at least a little something in them that will say that they are experiencing some anger, right? So the goal to my movement is called the Let's Laugh, right? Let's live anger free. So what I do is I help people, basically, let's talk about what your triggers are, right? Because a lot of people don't even realize they do have a trigger. Let's talk about your triggers. Let's be able to identify what's going on. Let's talk about ways to get to know our anger so that we could be able to start doing what we need to do to combat it. Let's start working through this, whether it's through journaling, being able to log what times of day do things happen in your life that we need to start working on, as well as trying to find a way to, calm yourself during those moments.
Yeah, if you live in any major city, you can just driving on the road, you could tell that anger is a massive issue for individuals, but it also happens on a micro level, and it also happens in ways that we may not be aware of. And so I'm really, really fascinated. I want to actually get more details on the research that you're doing there, but we are out of time. So I want to ask you the question I ask everybody, which is, what is it that you want to be remembered for? If you could give that to us, that'd be a beautiful way to close out the conversation.
I want to be remembered as the person who helps people understand the wealth of mental health. I want to be able to be remembered as the person who reminded people, let's laugh, let's think first before reacting. Let's talk about issues instead of responding in a negative manner. Let's be able to understand one another, and let's do more things of kindness, have more acts of kindness than of anger.
Beautifully, beautifully said. Tyra Gardner, thank you so much. Listen, if y'all want to connect with Tyra, you know what to do. Make sure you head over to blackspeakersnetwork.com to our speakers directory. Her website is there, photo, bio. You can connect with her, call her, anything that you want, because I look, the things that you're talking about now are real. And I 100% believe that there are people out here listening right now, either that if they have, communities of people that they serve, probably need to talk to you or directly engage with you, because anger is a real issue. becoming recession proof is a real issue, and having somebody to talk to is absolutely something that we all should have in our back pocket. So I appreciate you, Tyra, and thanks for being part of the Black Speakers Network community.
Thank you so much, and we look for more members to join Black Speakers Network and join Premium, y'all.
Absolutely, it's the only way to be. Thank you so much, Tyra. All right, y'all, that is it. We have come to the end of BSN Speaker Spotlight Series. This was our longest one, and I think it's we are just getting to the surface of the amount of talent and people that we have across the BSN network. And so again, I'm going to encourage you, if you would like to schedule your own BSN Speaker Spotlight, make sure you do so. These spots fill up quickly. Literally, as soon as we put it out, they fill up, but we're going to continue adding more and more and more until we get through everybody. And so if you haven't already done so, make sure you go to blackspeakersnetwork.com, join, fill out your speaker profile so we can get you interviewed. You also are going to receive what we call speaker opportunity alerts. So every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we send out national conferences, seminars, and workshops for you to apply to. We have BSN Podcast Power Match, which is every month we are connecting you to folks who actually host their own podcast so that you can have the opportunity to apply to those opportunities. We do training on a regular basis through our speaker development class series. We have a Tech Tuesday, all types of things to make sure that you have access to the tools, resources, and opportunities to grow as a speaker. And so, again, looking forward to working with you. As we say in Black Speakers Network, keep speaking up because your audience awaits. And I'll leave you with this last message in case you are still on the fence about what it means to become a Black Speakers Network member. Being at a HBCU like Morgan State University, I saw firsthand the talent, the expertise, the creativity that we bring to the table when it comes to this world of public speaking.
Black Speakers Network is a space where I can interact and engage with my tribe, with Black speakers.
It's all reflective of an abundance mindset that there is enough for all of us to win big.
BSN serves others not only in community, culture, but around the world.
BSN not only helped me book additional paid opportunities, but gave me the accountability and confidence booster I needed to really strive and thrive consistently in my business.
They curate all the engagements and email them to you. So all you have to do is simply click and apply to the one that's applicable for your niche.
I have built my business and have expanded my knowledge, met amazing people, and I have landed several speaking engagements.
I truly thank the entire team behind Black Speakers Network for helping me share my story with the world.
In less than 3 years, I was able to increase my visibility, my credibility, and even my connectivity.
What I experienced with BSN is phenomenal connections. And I've met so many great people that have added value to my life in ways I just wouldn't have expected.
If you want to speak on college stages, BSN has something for you. If you want to speak and sell, I feel like BSN has a cohort for you.
At the end of the day, Black Speakers Network is really there for anyone who is longing to reach the audience that they're called to serve.
Black Speakers Network truly is a place where you can feel like you're home. If you are on the fence, get off the fence and join the family. You won't regret it.
It is the #1 organization that I recommend that every speaker become a member of if you really want to catapult your success and maximize to its fullest potential your voice.